Comunidade do Teacher Murilo. Welcome back. Let's talk about the week 2 on level 1.
All right, so today we're diving into something that might seem super basic at first glance. But I think it's going to be deceptively fascinating.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We're talking about those core English verbs that we use like literally every single day.
Like without even thinking about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we've got this awesome student resource
Yeah.
that really drills down into words like have, need, prefer.
Live, write, understand.
Yeah, all those fundamental ones.
Yeah,
Our mission today is to give you a much deeper grasp of these concepts.
totally. And how they work in everyday conversations.
So let's kick things off with to have.
Okay.
I mean, it's so common we probably don't even think about it.
Right.
We use it constantly to talk about stuff we own.
Possessions.
I have a car, she has a new car.
Yeah.
Super simple, right?
It seems that way, but there's actually a lot more to it.
Oh, I bet.
The resource breaks down all the different ways we can structure sentences with have.
Oh, cool.
You've got your basic statement, like, I have a pet cat. But then you can flip that around to say you don't have something. Like, I don't have any siblings.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then you can start asking questions, which is where things get interesting.
Oh, yeah, the whole question game.
Right, so you've got yes or no questions, like, do you have a car?
Okay.
And then you've got those questions that dig a little deeper, like, what do you have in your bag?
Ooh, those who questions.
Exactly.
It's amazing how a tiny tweak to the sentence can completely change what you're asking.
It's like a little linguistic puzzle.
Right.
And what's cool about have is it's not just about owning stuff.
Oh, what else does it do?
Think about phrases like, have a great day. It's a command, but it's also a nice wish.
Yeah, like a friendly suggestion.
Exactly. And then there's has, the irregular form we use for he, she, or it.
Oh, right, the third person singular.
That one can trip people up sometimes.
Definitely.
Okay, so moving on, let's talk about to need.
Okay, so this is about what's necessary, right?
Exactly. Not just what you have, but what you require. The resource gives the example, I need a pen to write my assignment.
Yeah, been there.
We've all been there. And just like have, need comes in lots of different flavors.
No, tell me more.
So you can state a need directly, like, I need a vacation.
Though we all...
Right. Or you can say, you don't need something, like, I don't need any help.
I'm sure there are times we all feel that way, but it's good to ask for help when you do need it.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we can use need to ask questions.
Yeah, those all-important questions.
So you've got your closed questions, like, do you need a ride, which can be super helpful in everyday situations.
For sure.
And then there are those more open-ended questions, like, what do you need right now? You know, getting straight to the point.
I like that one. Very direct.
Right. And need can also be used in that imperative form, like, need a break, take one. It's like a little nudge of encouragement.
That's a good reminder.
Definitely. One other interesting thing about verbs like need, prefer, and understand, they're often what we call stative verbs.
Stative verbs.
Yeah, it means they describe a state of being rather than an action.
Interesting. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's different from verbs like running or jumping, which are all about action.
I see the difference. That's cool.
Okay, now let's tackle to have to. This one builds on have, but it adds this sense of obligation.
Okay, so like you're required to do something.
Exactly. The example they give is, I have to study for the exam. It's not just that you possess the ability to study, it's that you must do it.
I'm feeling that pressure already.
To have to is always followed by another verb because it's about an action you're compelled to take.
That makes sense.
So you can have affirmative sentences like, I have to study for my exams.
Right, laying out the obligation, clearly.
And of course, there's the flip side, I don't have to study tonight. Music to everyone's ears, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a good feeling.
And then we can ask about obligations using closed questions like, do you have to study every day? You know, exploring routines and responsibilities.
Right, like finding out about someone's schedule.
And then we can get specific with why questions like, what do you have to study this week?
Okay, so drilling down into the details of the obligation.
Exactly. And you know what's interesting? The imperative form of have to can be used for really strong encouragement.
Oh, how so?
Think about phrases like, have to stay focused to succeed. It's like emphasizing the absolute necessity of the action.
I get it. It's like you're really driving the point home.
Exactly. And this is something the resource emphasizes. The difference between need and have to.
Oh, yeah. That's a subtle but important distinction.
Totally. It's the difference between something you require and something you're obligated to do.
So, like, I have a bottle of wine. I might need that, right? But I have to go to the supermarket.
That's a responsibility.
I feel seen.
One expresses a lack or a desire, the other a necessity driven by something external or internal.
That's a really clear way to put it.
Okay, now let's switch gears and talk about to prefer.
All right, so this is all about choices.
Yeah, about what we like more than something else.
Like, I prefer tea to coffee.
Exactly, a classic example. So the resource lays out how we use prefer in different ways.
Lay it on me.
So you can have straightforward statements like, I prefer tea over coffee.
Okay, no ambiguity there.
Right, or you can express a dislike, I don't prefer cold weather.
I can relate to that one.
And when you want to find out someone's preference, you can ask closed questions, offering a choice. Do you prefer summer or winter?
Always a fun debate.
Or you can be more open-ended with who questions, like, what do you prefer to do on weekends?
So many possibilities.
Right. And here's a little grammar tidbit from the resource. You can use to or an infinitive after prefer.
Okay, remind me, what's an infinitive again?
It's basically the base form of a verb with to in front of it.
Got it.
So you can say, I prefer tea to coffee, or I prefer to live in Brazil.
Okay, that's good to know.
Gives you some flexibility.
All right, let's move on to live.
Okay, so this verb is about more than just being alive, right?
Right, it's about where you reside and who you might share your life with.
Yeah, where you make your home.
Some simple examples. I live in Brazil. He lives in an apartment. We live with our children.
Yeah, those are the basics. But then things get interesting with prepositions.
Oh, yeah. Those little words that can change the meaning of everything.
Totally. The resource breaks down how different prepositions give to live a more specific context.
Like what?
So we use in for broader locations like cities and countries. I live in Brazil.
Okay, so in is for being within a larger boundary.
Exactly. And then with is for talking about the people you share your home with. We live with our children.
Makes sense.
On has a couple of interesting uses. It can refer to something essential for living, like they live on very little money.
Okay, so like a means of support.
Exactly. But it can also be about location, like they live on Elm Street or she lives on a small island.
Ah, I see, like on the surface of something.
Right. And then you've got by, which shows nearness, like she lives by the supermarket.
Super convenient.
I know, right? And finally, at is for a very specific address. She lives at 123 Oak Street. Think of at as pinpointing an exact spot.
Okay, like putting a pin on a map.
Exactly. And one more thing about to live.
Mm-hmm.
When we want to know who lives somewhere, we ask, who lives in this house? But even if the answer is more than one person, the verb in the question is often lives, not live.
So even though we might be talking about multiple people, we still use the singular form lives.
Exactly. It's because who is the subject of the question, and it's treated as singular.
Oh, that's a little tricky.
It's one of those quirky grammar things.
Good to know.
All right, now let's move on to understand.
Okay, this verb is all about comprehension, right?
Yeah, about grasping information and making sense of things.
A simple example would be, I understand English a little.
Hopefully you're understanding us perfectly right now. And just like all the other verbs we've talked about, understand can be used in lots of different sentence structures.
Show me.
You have your affirmative statements like, I understand the lesson.
Straightforward and positive.
And then you've got negative statements like, I don't understand this topic. We've all been there when learning something new.
Absolutely. There are always those moments of confusion.
And then, of course, there are questions. Do you understand the instructions? This is a crucial one in so many situations.
Yeah, you got to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. And why questions can help clarify things like, what do you not understand?
That's a good way to pinpoint the problem area.
Right. It's all about checking for comprehension.
Makes sense.
Okay, last but not least, let's talk about to write.
All right, so this is about expressing yourself through written words.
Exactly. Putting those thoughts down on paper or on screen these days.
A simple example would be, I write stories.
Perfect. Now let's see how the resource shows us to use it in different ways.
Let's hear it.
You can have affirmative statements like, I write in my journal every day.
I love that. Journaling is a great habit.
It is. And then you have negative statements like, I don't write letters often. Which is probably true for most of us in this digital age.
Yeah, snail mail has become a bit of a rarity.
And of course, there are questions. Do you write emails daily?
Oh yeah, that's a big one these
A
days.
very relevant question. And then what questions can help us delve deeper? What do you write about in your journal?
Getting a bit more personal there.
Exactly.
So those are the main verbs we wanted to explore today. But this resource doesn't stop there.
Not at all. It also gives us a bunch of practical, everyday vocabulary.
Oh, tell me more.
So first up, we have words related to food and drink.
Ooh, always a fun topic.
Right. We've got apple, beer, bottle, coffee, cup, juice, sugar, sweetener, wine, bread, milk, and tea.
Wow, that's a pretty comprehensive list.
It is. And what's great is you can immediately see how these words connect with the verbs we've been talking about.
I see it.
Ah.
I have an apple for breakfast.
She prefers juice to coffee.
We need sugar for the coffee.
Exactly. It all ties together.
And then it covers containers, which go hand in hand with food and drink.
Yeah, so we've got bottle, cup, glass, can, jar.
Okay, so we can say things like,
I have a cup of coffee.
or we need a bottle of wine.
See? Easy peasy.
It is. And what else?
Well, then it moves on to locations.
Oh, right. Places we go in our daily lives.
Exactly. So we have at the bank, at the movies, at the store, supermarket.
And we can use these with our verbs like,
I live near the supermarket.
or she prefers to go to the movies.
It's all about using the right preposition. Here, at often means a specific point or institution.
Right, like you're at a particular place.
Exactly. And the resource clarifies the difference between here and there.
Oh, yeah, those can be tricky.
They can. So here refers to a place close to the speaker. I live here in Brazil.
So it's all about the speaker's perspective.
Exactly. While there indicates a location further away. I need to go there tomorrow.
Got it. Here is close, there is far.
It's all about spatial awareness in language.
Fascinating.
It is. And of course, no language resource would be complete without those super basic but essential everyday words.
Like?
Well, we have today, tomorrow, yes, no, now.
Oh, yeah, we use those all the time.
And they help us anchor our verbs in time.
Oh, I see. So we can say things like,
She needs to go there tomorrow.
or they prefer to stay here today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Simple but effective.
It's amazing how much meaning those little words carry.
I know, right? And another cool thing the resource does,
What's that?
it gives us a little refresher on basic question structures.
Oh, helpful.
It shows how we use have, need, and prefer with different pronouns like I, you, we, they. And in the third person with has, needs, prefers.
Okay, so it's about matching the verb to the subject,
Exactly. It's a good reminder of subject-verb agreement.
which can definitely be tricky.
It can be. And of course, it covers those key question words, do, when do, where do, and what do.
Oh, the words that help us ask for specific information.
Precisely.
It's a good little grammar review.
And finally, it wouldn't be a practical language resource without covering those essential social interactions.
Oh, you mean like everyday greetings?
Exactly. So we have, how are you? And all those standard responses. I'm fine, thanks. I'm doing well, thank you. Pretty good, thanks.
It's funny how those phrases become so automatic.
I know, right? And of course, you have the casual so-so.
And don't forget the basics. Sorry. And hello.
Absolutely crucial.
I love how this resource covers everything.
Right. It really is comprehensive. And to wrap things up, it also looks at expressions related to meals.
Oh, yeah, we got to eat.
We do. So we have for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner.
With examples like,
I have eggs for breakfast. She eats a salad for lunch. They cook pasta for dinner.
yeah?
And it even shows how to ask about meals. What do you have for breakfast?
And how to make suggestions. Let's have pancakes for breakfast.
It's all about those practical, everyday conversations.
I love it. So just to recap quickly, we've gone on quite a journey today, exploring those essential English verbs to have, to need, to prefer, to live, to write, and to understand.
And we've seen how mastering these verbs, along with all the related vocabulary, really empowers you to talk about your possessions, your needs, your preferences, where you live, and how you express yourself through writing.
It's amazing how these seemingly simple verbs are the foundation for so much of our communication.
It really is.
So here's a final thought for you. As you go about your day, pay attention to how often you use these verbs. I bet it's more than you realize. And maybe, just maybe, a deeper understanding of their nuances can help you communicate even more effectively. What new details about yourself or your life can you now express more clearly?
It's something to think about.
It really is. These verbs might seem basic, but they're the key to connecting with others and navigating the world around us.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Oh.
Until next time.
See you later.